Welcome to Reclaiming the Self. I'm Blair, and this is a space where I share my ongoing journey of connecting to the truth of who I am, with the hope that it supports anyone it resonates with. Welcome, friends. Today's piece is a reflection of a period of time when I was having a lot of interpersonal drama. It's not something that I experience often, and I'm happy to say that it is no longer a part of my experience currently. But this piece talks about how I found that when I was sitting and stewing in anger of another, I kept hurting myself. So this short but sweet piece goes into much more detail about this and how life oftentimes will present us with opportunities to recognize these lessons. And if we hear them and receive them when they're a little bit more subtle, they don't have to get louder to get our attention. So I hope that you enjoy this short but sweet piece. And if you want to catch up on all of my latest musings and adventures, you can head over to my blog at blairsilverman.com/blog. And without further ado, this piece is called A Powerful Lesson Hidden in a Few Bumps and Bruises. People often say that our experiences, pleasant and unpleasant, can mirror the parts of ourselves that are asking to be seen, felt, and healed. Many believe that these invitations arrive subtly. If we ignore them, they tend to grow louder over time. Of course, this isn't a hard rule, but think of someone who has lived through a tragedy only to later recognize it as a blessing or a wake-up call. Most near-death experiences, or NDEs, attest to this very truth. My intention is not to instill fear, shame, blame, or any quote-unquote lower vibrations. It's simply an offering, a personal story that helped me embody this insight in a very real and powerful way. Personally, I had heard this teaching before, and I believed it to be true, but it wasn't until I experienced the lesson that it became an embodied truth. This is what I intend to share with you today. A few years back, I kept hurting myself. I banged my knee, elbow, and toe all in quick succession. Because they happened so close together, it felt purposeful, so I dropped in to explore. I began to reflect on my state of being each time it happened. I quickly realized that each time I hurt myself, I had been stewing in anger and/or judgment toward another. Fun fact, I started to cryptically explain the circumstances that led to those emotions, but quickly realized that there's no need to rehash the details. Reflecting on the impulse to do so, though, shows me that there's more to release from those experiences. And for that, I'm grateful. I don't usually have interpersonal drama in my life, so this stood out like a neon sign flashing. These are purposeful lessons. Proceed with love. And as my future self knows now, this was just the beginning of interpersonal drama across various relationships. In hindsight, though all very painful at the time and in the moment, now seen through the lens of opportunity and growth. And while I know that there is some residue from some of these experiences still, I am so very grateful to have had the opportunities to move through these experiences because I saw how much growth they brought me. Thankfully, I was listening to the Book of Love and Creation by Paul Selig and the Guides. I don't believe this was a coincidence. It literally gave me the roadmap to navigate these situations with love. Before me was a beautiful orchestration of events and tools laid out before me. I now had the power of free will to heal and grow from it. Conscious co-creation at play. In reflecting on my inner state during these moments, it hit me clearly. When I sit in anger and/or judgment of another, I'm the one who gets hurt. The message arrived relatively gently in these 3 moments. Though to be fair, it was wrapped in some gnarly emotional entanglements with wounds reacting off one another. Who knows how the lesson might have unfolded if I hadn't paid attention. I'm grateful I didn't have to learn it on a grander scale. I'm still very much human. I get angry, I fall into judgment, and when I do, I try my best to return to this moment, this embodied truth as a reminder. My experience has shown me that the more you experience inner alignment, the more you recognize when you are in misalignment, Over time, this makes it far easier to recognize and recalibrate back into harmony. The message, dear friends, is this: feel your feelings fully. And if they shift into rumination, obsession, or stewing, remember this energy begins to hurt you. And all too often, it hurts others as well. What if we chose to acknowledge and tend to our wounds rather than react from them? Can you imagine a world where each of us met our discomfort with gentle, compassionate curiosity? If we didn't react off one another, but instead treated every pang of discomfort as an invitation to go within, to heal, to evolve. I believe it's possible. How about you? And until next time, friends, stay curious.